In blackest day, in brightest night, beware your fears, made into light. Let those who try to stop what's right burn like its power, Sinestro's might. Good evening, beautiful people. I go by Big Drip. To my left, Light Drizzle, aka Tech Savvy, aka Magic Man, aka TY Ty.
How we doing, people?
Happy
to be back.
Episode 3, people.
Yeah, we're getting up there in the count.
Yeah, man. We're just, what we're doing is harassing y'all with much content as possible, right? So we just started a new show, a new segment, new show, if you will, called Quick Dip.
It was fun.
We shared the first episode of that last night. Came out perfecto, if I do say myself.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. We're on Snapchat, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on literally everything, people, because I just want to bother you. I want you to hear pop culture in your dreams, you know? So welcome to the corner, beautiful people. I'm going to be real honest with you. Not too much happened this week.
Nothing, I mean, a couple of things happened, but nothing. Like our first 2 weeks, we were talking flooded with news. So I guess this is the real test, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we do it with limited news available to us?
Which I think so. I mean, speaking just for myself, I can ramble and talk for days, and you'll be entertained. I can promise you that. I make myself laugh on a regular basis for hours a day, so I know I can make you laugh.
Yes. And that's the goal, right? To laugh, to learn the week's previous news, and to enjoy yourself, and then, be happy for next week.
That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple formula, people. So we just want to jump in. Again, like we said, there's not too much news this week. Things were relatively slow as far as, factual news. So we thought we'd just give you a quick rundown of those.
Yeah, of the breaking stuff, the stuff that means the most to the industry, and then we'll kick off. By the way, happy October.
Happy October, spooky season.
It's officially upon us, spooky season. Boo. So I think we'll maybe decorate a little bit for next episode.
Yeah, most definitely.
Get some pumpkins maybe.
I was thinking about I want to find that suit, David S. Pumpkins. He is Tom Hanks on SNL. Classic sketch, everybody loves it, and he has a suit that's a bunch of pumpkins, and and I guarantee if I wear it for the show, everybody will recognize it and love it.
Oh, okay.
In honor of spooky season.
Yeah, it's I can guarantee it's probably on Amazon. They have everything.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Shouts
out to Amazon.
Yeah, if you're watching, we're looking for sponsors.
We got open ad space.
Yes.
Come see me.
So we'll jump right into the breaking news for the week. I want to start off with something small, something that's not maybe so critical, and something that we all probably expected, but now it is official. So Billy Crudup, he played Ezra Miller's dad in the Flash movie.
Yes.
He is now in talks to join the cast of the Flash. I think, like I said, I think we all knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or expected it.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe not, newsworthy expected it, but, the talks have been officially begun, so we'll hopefully be seeing Barry's dad in some shape or form in the Flashpoint.
So I'm wondering, I know the Flashpoint storyline, right? But Flash isn't Batman, and he's not Spider-Man. His origins aren't that well known. So I'm wondering if we're going to get anything of that. Maybe, his mother being murdered and his father being arrested for it. I'm wondering what exactly we're going to get out of Flashpoint. Are we just going to start as him as Flash and then get an origin down the road? Or they're going to throw some little bit of origin into a Flashpoint movie,
Yeah, I think they could use the Flash movie as a maybe, like that. I mean, in the animated movie, it's very quick.
Yes. Yep.
But they could spend that time before the actual event, Flashpoint, to throw in some origin stuff.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit more, because in Justice League and Batman vs Superman, we all know who the Flash is, so we kind of know his backstory, but they didn't really get into it.
Yeah, and again, everybody knows Batman's origins, everybody knows Spider-Man's origin, but not too many people. Flash is don't get it wrong, he's a big character, everybody love him, but nobody the general audience doesn't know off the top of their head how he got his powers in the first
Right,
place, the
right.
suit, etc. The classic superhero origin story.
Yep.
You know, so I'm wondering how much of that we'll get.
Yeah, maybe bank it on people understand, like watching the CW show. You know,
Think so? Yeah.
a lot of people watch it.
Yeah,
I don't think
they'll
they
be
bank
popular.
on it. Like, oh well, everyone watches the Flash,
Yeah.
so they know his backstory. But you know, a lot of people have seen that Flash show on
Very
CW,
popular.
and you know, it's not as far off to think that most people know a little bit about the Flash. Not
Fair enough.
maybe too much, but a little bit.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so he's back in talks. You know, hopefully see him in there, and maybe hopefully soon cast Barry's mom,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we didn't get to see her.
Yeah.
So next up on the docket, and these are things we haven't spoken about as of yet
Okay.
to date.
All right.
So the James Bond film has been pushed back
Yes.
to April 2nd, 2020. So that's No Time to Die.
Really?
Yeah, MGM and Universal made the decision to push it back. You know, kind of following suit with every other studio
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
And speaking of other studios, Fast and the Furious, for those who enjoy those films,
Boom.
that movie has also been pushed back, and that will be May 28th, 2021.
Now, as far as Bond, I heard that they're possibly casting Tom Hardy. I heard that's a possibility.
It's a fan cast, that's for sure.
Oh, it's a fan cast. Okay. All right.
Um,
So now, question for you, because you'll most likely know this answer. Is this a continuation of Quantum of Solace storyline in all of those movies, or are we getting a whole new Bond?
This film,
Yes,
this
this
film
coming up.
that's coming up,
Yes.
is the last one in the installment.
Okay. All
So,
right.
this
So
will
why
be the
recast?
last, because this is his 5th movie.
Ah.
So
Okay.
yeah, so he'll be. This was actually a movie that he wasn't even going to do,
Ah.
and they offered him like a boatload of money to come back for one more, and yeah. So,
Okay.
but next up, you know, that's speculation. You know, people had Tom Hardy attached.
Yeah.
Some people had. Well, there was a couple other names in the running. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not a huge Bond fan.
No, I mean, nor am I. Honestly, I could do without. Honestly, when it comes to my action movies, I like.
Oh, Idris Elba. That's the other one.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Idris Elba,
Black Bond. Okay.
Yes. And a female Bond was speculated at one point.
Okay. Well, I mean, not for nothing, but
Gotta
switch
be
it up a little bit.
PC.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think if you're gonna recast, might as well go all the way. Don't try to make him look like, dude. Why not switch it up completely? Oh, well, he was James Bond in this movie. Next movie, it's some Spanish lady.
Yeah.
You know. So we'll see.
I just, like I said, I would rather, like, if you want to do something like that, spin it off and
Yeah.
turn a powerful female into its own thing,
Yeah.
rather than changing Bond to a woman, because I don't think anyone, like, people would go watch it because it's Bond,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like the Ghostbusters remake,
Yeah.
when they
yeah,
did it with all
yep.
female,
Yes.
and it was just like, it didn't settle for me.
So I think, especially with Bond, to my understanding, again, I'm also not the biggest Bond fan, but I know a decent amount. I can talk about it for some time. To my understanding, Bond in 007 is a mantle, right? Like, it's not just necessarily that's who he is. That's like the spy name, you know. So I don't really,
Yeah.
and that's why I was asking you, what's even the point of recasting? It's
Right.
James Bond. They've been doing this for years. Just start up a new line of movies, you know.
Yeah.
Then you can
No,
turn
no.
them into whoever you want.
Yeah, that's what they do. Is they kind of just like you said, it's a mantle. It's a like an alias.
Yeah.
They just bring someone else in and start from scratch and do it that way. I don't, like I said, I've seen a couple of them. I've never been a fan of it because there's so many recastings. It's like
Yes.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They're constantly
Yeah.
recasting, so
Yeah.
you know it's hard for me to want to sit there and go watch 23 movies.
Yeah.
There's just so many.
Yeah,
of
there
them.
is. And you know, with my action movies, I like things. I like my action movies way over the top, right? So that's why I watch a lot of superhero movies.
Yeah.
I like Kingsman and stuff like that. You know,
Kingsman was. See, that's
excellent.
my jam.
Excellent.
Right
So that's how I like my action movies. You know, I don't want just basic kung fu fight shooting. You know, like I'm not a big fan of John Wick. Like, I respect
John
it.
Wick's amazing.
I respect it, but I'm not a big fan of it. It's too straightforward action. If my action movies need to be off the charts and just not even reasonable, you know, just crazy, like could never happen. That's how I want.
That's the Fast and the Furious.
Now it is.
That's.
Now it is.
I mean, now they got literal super villains.
Yeah, Idris Elba was a literal superhuman
Yeah.
in the last movie.
So that's another franchise that I watch as like a guilty pleasure, but
Really?
it's something to watch every here and there. And
Slight disappointment.
I turn myself off when I watch it. So like I'll just
As
sit
you
there,
must.
eyes glazed over, and I'm just like, how did that car jump that building? Like it doesn't make any
You
sense.
can't question these things. Like, you just gotta let it happen.
Yeah,
just let it be.
It's absolutely absurd. But again, it's like a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
You know, where you just
Yeah.
eat, eat during it, get a couple laughs out of it, but after that, you know, I don't retain too much of it.
You pay more attention to the bag of popcorn in your lap than you do
Honestly.
the movie.
Yeah.
There's more detail in the popcorn
The
than
best-
there is in the movie.
The best part of Fast and the Furious is The Rock.
Oh, most definitely.
The
By
Rock.
far.
That,
By far.
Hobbs and Shaw, I thought was a better movie than most of the Fast and the Furious movies.
Which is a shame.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spend too much time on
No,
Fast and the Furious.
because it's completely out of my cup of tea.
Yeah. Our next thing is in our cup of tea, if you'd like to say that.
Ah.
So, the Batman, a very
No.
highly anticipated big drip film,
No.
or
Yes, it is.
Justice Holmes special.
Robert Pattinson, I'm counting on you. This is me talking directly to you. I'm counting on you. Please don't let us down. I've had the biggest disappointment in my life in the shape and form of Ben Affleck. So Robert, please, I'm begging you. I need this movie to hit.
So the Batman will start shooting in Chicago. It was over in the UK. Now we're going to be coming to Chicago.
Okay.
Gotham is loosely based on New York.
Yes.
Loosely.
Yes.
In the films though, they tend to use Chicago. Like Chicago they used it in 2005's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then they used Pittsburgh in The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
They never really used New York, which is weird.
Yeah. Very strange.
And this one's shooting in the UK, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, so I was just thinking about it when you said it, and I feel like that's for Wayne Manor.
Gothic, very gothic.
Yeah, and they have those old castle type buildings, you know, old looking mansions, big grass fields, you know, how Wayne Manor looks. I would imagine that's what they're doing over there shooting.
Yeah, and so when it comes to Chicago, I mean, if you're in the Chicago area, don't expect to see Robert Pattinson running around.
No.
They could be just doing opening scenes
Yes,
or,
yeah.
you know, pull away shots where it's a city skyline.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really know what they're shooting. We don't have the script in front of us or anything like
Well,
that.
I can say this much. Crime rate wise, Chicago's definitely more on par than New York is. Like, Batman's much more necessary in Chicago than New York. You know, I don't think you guys have time to be looking for Robert Pattinson. You're too busy dodging bullets.
Right.
Chicago's
crazy.
Yeah,
man.
you can't pay me.
Have
to
you
go
ever
to
been there?
Chicago. No, God no. God
Oh.
no. I won't even consider it.
Yeah, me and my buddy Andrew, when we drove back from California
Yes.
on our cross-country road trip, we stayed in Chicago one night, and it was just
Dangerous.
very
Scary.
very murky, very murky.
He's scary.
By the way, shout out to Andrew. Thank you for your service, and
We appreciate you.
exactly.
We do it for you. We do it for the culture.
Yes.
Welcome to the corner, people.
Welcome, and Andrew, welcome to the family. You just subscribed the other day.
Oh, my man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family. Big
Yes.
hugs for you, baby.
Yeah, and we're getting up there, guys. We're getting up there.
Numbers are steadily climbing, and that's all you. And so let's take that quick moment, because yesterday, Big Drip was at his normal, lame, boring job. That's not nowhere near as important as this is to me. And I checked our YouTube page. We were at 39 subscribers. About 10 minutes later, Light Drizzle gives me a call. Dude, we're at 200 and something subscribers. Now, you guys are probably well aware of this.
It was almost 300. It was 280.
So we're jumping. Now, you guys are probably well aware of this, but YouTube is just, maintenance-wise, these people, they're not very good. Not for nothing, they do have literally millions of accounts to manage, but there's a lot of faults and a lot of errors in them. So that number has dropped since then, but regardless of all of that, I just want to give you guys a quick thank you. A genuine, serious thank you. Because this is all you guys. You know, all we do is sit down and have conversations that we have regardless. microphone cameras, or no, we have these kind of conversations. But the only reason we're climbing and it's actually becoming something is you.
Yes.
So thank you.
And I don't think we can say this enough. Thank you. But also, we really would like you guys to get involved. We have one person that's consistently commenting.
Yes.
Wes, I believe.
Yes.
So
shouts out to you, homie.
yes, but we want more people like that because we'd like to interact and I understand that when the viewers and the subscriptions start climbing, the engagement will as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I guess episode 3, not to expect too much, but
yeah. But if we keep saying it, we like to say it literally every time we get on camera. We say it. We want you guys involved. So when those numbers do start climbing and people are getting, there's more engagement, they'll see it in that first episode they watch. Hey, dude, you want to hear something, or you want some more info on something, or you want to see me wear a funny hat? I don't care what it is. Just tell us what you want us to do, and I will do it. We are here for y'all. We do it for you. We do it for the culture. I can't say this enough, people.
right. But yeah, so just thank you guys again. We appreciate it. And the views are good so far.
Yeah, considering.
So we're gonna continue to do what we do and
try to be the best at it.
Yes, and every week I think we get a little bit better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's really a comfortability thing, because this is all free flow. People, we just sit down. Again, we have these kind of conversations regardless. So I think the more comfortable we get with being on camera and the lights and the microphones and playing with the laptops and stuff, the better the content's gonna be. Because the more comfortable I am, at least I can't speak for you, but the more comfortable I am, the better I can joke around and make you laugh and smile, and I'll be more attractive, I'm here for you.
Speaking of your boy, by the way.
My boy.
Yes, Ben Affleck.
Oh.
He's your favorite.
He's my daredevil.
Yes.
And he will always be my daredevil.
So I just want to update something that we had spoken about last week, and possibly the week before. So, some updates have come out about the solo Batman outing with Ben Affleck.
Possible HBO show, correct?
Yeah, so we had said that it was going to be an HBO show.
Yes.
And it looks like, again, this is all with a grain of salt. This is not confirmed, but the update has it as a standalone Batman HBO film.
Strictly HBO.
Yes.
No theater release.
No theater release.
Okay.
Strictly HBO Max. Set as a prequel before Batman vs Superman. If Ben can get creative control.
Okay.
So
that'll be interesting because come Batman vs Superman, Batman's already like 20 years deep into crime fighting and being the Dark Knight. So, your options are really limitless where you go with this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a year one kind of story. You could jump into the middle and do like a long Halloween kind of thing.
Ooh,
or
I'd love to see a long Halloween.
Yeah, absolutely. Or possibly even a Killing Joke. I mean, we still haven't gotten any hint of that in a movie. So this, there's plenty of options.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, the Killing Joke, it would fit because
But
HBO.
in Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
HBO Max also though, because HBO Max you can throw like some graphic stuff in there.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
you can do a little bit more on HBO than say a theater.
Yeah.
Because in a theater you're trying to please the general audience as well as the fans, whereas HBO Max, you're really just there for the people that are going to watch.
Yes.
You can, as we've all seen on Game of Thrones and other HBO shows, they're not afraid to toe the line of what's okay and Watchmen, all those shows. There's a platform where you can test waters.
Yes.
And the Killing Joke, I mean, we've already seen Robin's suit deformed.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
That would be a good. I would actually be 100% on.
So,
but you'd have to bring Jared Leto's Joker back in, which you're not a fan of.
No, God no. God no. Are you?
I just don't think that 15 minutes in a movie did it for me. I think that if he could have been done a little bit. There's a lot of footage there that we didn't get to see.
None of my problems with Jared Leto's Joker comes from his performance or like his dialogue. It's the look, the tattoos, the grill, the diamonds and the chains.
Someone has a problem with a grill?
I have a grill.
Oh my
yes,
God.
because I'm a normal African American citizen. The Joker, Batman's greatest villain, should not be out here rocking platinum grills with a 3-pound diamond chain around his neck, a pimp cane, and a leather trench coat with his hair slicked back, clearly with gel in it. You know, there's way too much style.
It was like the H&M version. Like
yeah,
it was
exactly.
like H&M Joker.
Exactly.
Or like Abercrombie Joker.
Yeah, you know, he looks like a rap video. You know, it looks like a parody.
Yeah.
Like that's not we're talking about a highly unstable man. You think he's going to take time to do his hair every morning? Come on, that's crazy.
You know, I do, and I want to go on record saying that I would love to see the air cut of Suicide Squad, the original Suicide Squad.
I would, absolutely.
I would like to see them bring that back and fit it into Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
As we know, the Snyder Cut and Air's Suicide Squad were heavily linked together.
Yes.
Where Enchantress was supposed to be channeling the boom tube to bring Steppenwolf down, not to, you know, do with what her brother, like, whatever the mess was that we ended up seeing on screen.
Yep.
It was not supposed to be that way. I would like to see the way it was originally intended to be. A lot more Joker. Apparently there's enough footage for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, a movie just with the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. So I don't understand why they scrapped that in the first place, because it still fits perfectly. Yeah, but it still fits perfectly to what we got. Even though Justice League also got a bunch of like reshoots and cuts and
Edward Scissorhand treatment.
Yeah, exactly. So I think DC's like their game plan here is we're gonna phase 2 of our movies. We're just gonna put excellence into them. We're gonna make them the best we possibly can to try to get people and just never mention one again. We're just gonna never look at it. Oh, what's that over there? We're gonna don't look at that. You can't. Don't come over here. We're gonna lock it in a box and seal it away because it's terrible and everybody hates it. You know.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, I'd like to see that. That would be cool.
Look, I watch any and everything that is nerd related. Whether I knew, I had a strong feeling that both Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman were going to be utter trash. I was correct, by the way, but I still paid hard, cold cash to go watch them because that's the kind of man I am. I do it for the culture.
Exactly.
That's me. Big drip, baby.
And then to round out the news for the week, we did a video last night about it, but we're gonna jump into it for maybe 5-6 minutes here and kind of finish our thoughts.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I think it's gonna be a solid. It's gonna come up back up later.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we're gonna talk some multiverse today, people.
Yes.
So there's gonna be a big talk of that.
Yes, we do have a multiverse, and we'd like to talk. We'd like to start our October theme.
Yes, spooky season.
With the Monsterverse or the Kong and Godzilla verse.
Yes. I believe they're referring to it as the Monsterverse, I want to say.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's like the Tom Cruise Mummy
I was thinking the same thing.
Or is that...
I was thinking the same thing.
We'll just go with the big Monsterverse.
Monarch.
Well, yeah, we'll call it the Monarch Verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Works.
I like
fits,
that.
Right?
I like that.
Big
the Monarch Verse talk.
Yes.
And then we'll talk multiverse. And we got a couple segments for you guys as well. So the last bit of news that we got this week, kind of out there, was Electro is now going to be coming back from the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, and he will be inserted somehow into Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3 movie, produced by Marvel and Sony.
Yes.
Which should be interesting.
Yes. So we had a long talk about this. Well, not necessarily a long talk. Video's about 20 minutes long. New segment we're calling Quick Dip. And that episode's called Quick Dip into the Spider-Verse. So if you want to hear more about that, we went pretty in depth with all of it as far as what could happen and what we would like to see happen, etc. so forth. Because right now it's all speculation, right? There's really no solid concrete anything, so it's just more speculation and stuff that we want to talk about. So if you want to hear more on the Spider-Verse aspect of it and what me and Light Drizzle's opinions are, our 2 cents on the matter is, you go check out that video on youtube.com. That's
Yes.
Pop Culture Corner, quick dip into the Spider-Verse.
Yep, and I created a new playlist for just the quick dip stuff.
Oh, nice,
So-
nice.
so-
Easy access.
Yep, whenever we upload a quick dip, which is a YouTube only segment, so if you are listening on podcast platforms, the quick dips and stuff, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, that way you can make sure you see everything.
Make sure you click that bell. You want that notification. You
ring
don't
the
want to
bell.
miss us. I promise you this. You don't want to miss us.
Exactly. I do actually have one more thing, so I almost forgot about this. So, my weekly boys talk.
Oh, okay.
My weekly The Boys talk. We got some news, actually, that a spin-off show is already in the works.
Really?
Yes, from Amazon Prime. It'll focus on a college-age group of upcoming heroes that are
Okay.
also contracted by Vought America. By the way, this week, episode 7 is airing now. It's the penultimate, so it's the second to last. Next week, or this week coming up, is the finale of season 2. I'm pretty excited. The penultimate episode ended with a literal bang.
Okay.
Literal.
Okay.
Anyone who watches will get that reference. Literal bang, and some very shocking turn of events. This show, every single week I say it. If you haven't watched it, you're missing out. Definitely Amazon Prime's best show.
He's talking to me with that one because I still
Very
haven't
much
watched
so.
it.
Very much so.
Imagine
I am
that.
talking at you, not to you.
Shame, Drip.
Yes.
Shame.
Shame. I wish I gotta get a bell. Shame. Like Game of Thrones. But yes, so a spin-off series is in the works. I think that's gonna be cool. They're gonna expand the universe via Amazon Prime. And we're getting a Lord of the Rings show on Amazon Prime. So
Really?
Amazon Prime's stepping their game up.
Let's go into more detail because I got a million questions about that. So
Yeah.
where are they going with this Lord of the Rings thing?
Okay, so a little bit speculative for now, but all the casting's already been done.
Really?
This is very old news too. Maybe about a year or 2. I can't even
Oh, wow.
think about how long it was. Probably a year.
Well, I was today years old when I found out about that.
Wow. But yeah, so it's going to be set a long, thousands and thousands and thousands of years before Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Yep, so
nice.
we're not getting the same characters. We're not getting... My theory is it'll be based around the creation of
The rings.
the Ring of Power.
The
Yeah.
rings.
The rings of power.
There's several to
yes.
begin with, and that was just the remaining come Lord of the Rings. So there's now
Yes.
I know you wouldn't be familiar with this. There's 2 games. It's called Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
I am
I am proud of you.
Yes.
And it's around that same time frame, just
Yeah.
like you said, and all the rings still exist.
Mhm.
It's a great game. You guys should go check that out.
Maybe.
Maybe,
This is a hard maybe,
just maybe.
but I like it so far. When we get more information about that series, you could do a Get Into Gaming accompanied with it about those games.
Possibly.
Have you played them or no?
I have thoroughly. Possibly, but honestly, Drizzle, the likelihood of that is low, only because, one, these are very popular games, so it's not going to be new news to anybody, and, you know what, get in the comment section if
Let
you
us
want,
know, yeah.
yeah.
I
And
don't
you
know why we're asking each other.
yeah, when you guys are right here listening.
Yeah.
Get in the comment section, maybe I'll do a Let's Play. You get on the comment section, you let us know if you want to see Big Drip play some games. I'll even drag Light Drizzle into it. He's gonna kick and scream and fight me on it, but I'll make him play.
I just got a software so that we can record our screens
Nice.
and stuff.
Nice, so
which
yeah.
is pretty cool.
So you guys let us know if you want me to do some Let Plays, and we'll have some fun with that.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun.
Absolutely.
So that is it for the news for the week. As you can tell,
Whole bunch of nothing.
we would already be at like 47 minutes, typically.
Typically speaking.
Yay! Yay!
I mean, not for nothing, Big Drip. I just referred to myself, Light Drizzle.
Yes, I saw that.
Nothing, Light Drizzle, but we did pretty good. Half hour with a whole bunch of nothing for news isn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Told you, I know how to ramble, my friend.
I
I know
know.
how to talk.
So, with that said, let's get into gaming with the Drip.
Big Drip, baby. All right. So, Big Drip's thought here for the getting into gaming is, I talked consoles. Episode 1, I talked PS5, and Miles Morales. Episode 2, I talk Microsoft, all the things they've done thus far, all the deals they made, etc., price tags, release dates, etc. So I'm thinking from here on out, I'll alternate each week, right? Sony, Microsoft, etc., so forth. And I'll pick a game each week, an exclusive to each company to talk that, unless a big game that's, you know, a third party comes out, then I'll focus on that. But for now, I'll do exclusives. That being said, this week is Sony, and I'm going with Godfall, because this is that release launch game. You know, typically speaking, when a console come out, a game with it
comes. Yeah, you had told me that.
Yeah, so you
like
get
a
like
themed box.
So you get the feel for that as well. But like that game is usually its purpose is so you get to feel what the console can do.
Oh.
You know, so that this game will, you know, utilize all the new things that PS5 can do.
Which would be, I heard, is a lot.
A lot, yes, a lot. We're at the point of, like, you ever seen War Games,
Yeah.
an 80s movie? That's basically what a video game console is now.
Or, have you ever seen Ready Player One?
Yes, of course.
So,
absolutely.
I feel like that's where we're heading.
Oh, yeah, we'll get there.
Is like virtual.
Absolutely.
It's almost becoming like real life at this point.
What we do, our VR now is up there. It's just very abundantly clear that you are in VR.
Right.
You know,
I find it really, really, like, it's
nauseating.
No, it's intoxicating.
Oh, because
I
was
guess
gonna say nauseating.
I think
my stomach
intoxicating
turns.
could be a word used because,
Fair
like,
enough.
I feel like I've entered like this, like, honestly, like Ready Player One. I feel like I've entered a different reality,
Yeah,
which is cool.
I
was playing a video game one time on it, and like you're a sniper or something.
Yep.
And it just felt cool because you got to move around corners, and it just felt like I was in Call of Duty, like without the graphics weren't great.
Yes.
But
yeah.
But yeah, so
Still
I would
work
love
in
to play.
progress.
I would love to get the Oculus.
Well, that being said, PlayStation 4 has their own VR to go with it, so I'm wondering what 5 is going to be like.
Ooh.
I would imagine we're not going to, so 4 was out for like a solid 3-4 years before we got the virtual reality headset with it, so I would imagine PS5 is going to do the same thing, and when it does come out, it's going to be very intense.
When you buy a PlayStation, does it come with it already?
No.
Oh.
No, I believe they have bundles, but the VR headset alone is a solid $300.
Oh my god!
So
see, that's the problem with VR is it's so expensive.
It is.
It's you know, for me, who would play it like once every 3 months.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be worth it
And
to drop that kind of money.
And not only that, but you need to buy VR compatible specific games as well.
So that's why I would.
You can't just play any game you want. You have to get games that actually go with it.
Right.
You know.
But yeah, so let's
Godfall.
get into it. Yeah.
Godfall. So just a quick, again, it's that launch game, you know, to give you a feel what the PS5 can do. So it's gonna drop the same day as the PS5 itself. And it's funny we brought up Shadow of War earlier because I watched the gameplay walkthrough and it's very similar. Like play-wise and the style of combat and just what they're going for in general is very much similar. So they're going for like a fast-paced action slasher / looting RPG, meaning you gain everything, you gain your levels from enemies and looting their bodies. So the equipment you gain from a fallen enemy, or you find it in a chest, something of that shape and or form. And I would imagine there's some kind of a XP leveling up system. As you defeat bigger enemies, you gain more XP, etc., so forth. That classic RPG kind of feel. Now it's made by Counterplay Studios, and they're dropping the game same day as PS5. Interesting enough, though, the article I read said in the United States it would drop the same day as the PS5, but in other regions, I'm assuming that means other countries, it will drop the 19th.
Ooh, so you go a whole
week.
Yes,
without a but the system is still set to drop November 12th in those other regions, but the game is going to drop the 19th.
But, okay, so let me ask you a quick question.
Of course.
So those other regions, right? So they're paying the same amount as...
Well, whatever their respective currency, yes.
But they're paying the same amount, but they don't get a game with it.
For a solid week, yes.
No, but they don't get a game Like,
No. So your console is not going to come with this game. It's a separate purchase.
Oh, okay.
It's a separate purchase. It's a
Oh,
separate
okay.
purchase.
Then I was confused.
So at sometimes you'll purchase a console and it will have like an already installed game, but it will be a very basic arcade kind of, nothing extravagant about it, just very basic. Like a lot of times it will be like a Tetris kind of thing. You know, there's nothing to call home about. You know, you want the real stuff, you're gonna have to throw us a solid $60 before you get anything like feel of what this thing can do. So I found that interesting that they're gonna drop the system and leave them gameless because they still haven't like clarified how this is gonna backplay. Now we know that like the biggest of PS4 games will be able to. So that's like God of War, Spider-Man. You know, those big games that released on PS4 and really sold well. Those will be compatible on the PS5, but they haven't gone into detail as far as like what else we can play.
Okay.
All right. So until we know that, as far as I know, with all the information I have right now, those people in other regions are gonna have no games to play for a whole week.
Unless they have
one of those big games
or Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Or like that, which is disappointing, I guess. I feel like other regions, and you'd think because Sony is based in
Japan.
So
yeah,
that's really weird. That's
well,
strange.
no, the Japanese release, that doesn't count. Japanese release, they're probably gonna get it before us. Japanese release is always, they're always ahead of us because a lot of electronics and gaming stuff comes from Japan.
Right.
So they're always ahead of us. Those other regions would probably be places like Australia,
Gotcha.
possibly Europe, you know,
Gotcha.
places like that.
I feel like they always like that part of the world always gets screwed on like movies and release dates.
Yep.
So sorry
Yep.
if you live out there.
Yep. Sorry.
They don't have HBO, so
really?
yeah, not yet.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have HBO in
Fun
some
fact.
countries.
Wow.
HBO Max, I should say.
Yes.
They don't have that. They just don't have it. Like,
Interesting.
you can't get it through your internet provider or anything like that.
Really?
So that leaves them to pirate, and that's the issue.
Wow.
Yeah. So like
Wow.
then they pirate this series or that series.
Yeah.
And so Snyder actually is making it an issue of his
Okay.
to make sure that
Okay.
they have some way to watch it.
Yeah.
That way, you know, they're not pirating and stealing it.
Yeah.
Because that does not help anybody.
No, that defeats
It
the
does
entire
not
purpose.
help. Yeah, I hate when people pirate movies.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't. If you like that movie, well, good. You just took away from it, you know, possibly getting a sequel because you're not paying for it.
Fair
and
enough.
you multiplied by the other 3 million people that are pirating it. That's a lot of money that just went away.
Yeah.
And they don't see those numbers.
Yeah,
So-
and that you're right. That could be the difference between a guaranteed sequel
I'm-
and a possible sequel.
Yeah, most times, like I said, most times
Clearly, like Drizzle's very passionate about this.
I can't stand it. And
I
like
see a vein in his neck.
Yeah, and then you get like the Chinese subtitles and stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
what is this?
It's
You ever
silly.
seen a pirated copy of anything?
Of course.
Oh, it's
Of course.
terrible. It makes me
Please,
sick.
like Drizzle, we grew up very, very poor. I'm an expert in all things bootleg. An expert. I want to, real quick, getting into gaming is not done. We just went off track with
Sorry,
that
yeah,
one.
that's my
That's
fault.
all right. That he's very passionate. Again, there's a vein in his forehead and or neck. He's very passionate about these things. I just want to get into gameplay because I was actually really excited with it, and it has a very, it's imagine God of War and Shadow of War had a baby. Bam, you got Godfall. And that's amazing. It looks great. It's very fast-paced, over the top. I would imagine, I'm guessing, so the story that they've given us thus far is that there's 4 lands separated by the 4 basic elements, right? So it's broken up into earth, air, water, fire, right? And then there's one, I guess you could call him God, waiting for you at the top. So you work your way through, you fight enemies at a very fast-paced, action-packed level, and you grow, and you gain new armor and weapons, etc. You build your strength, and then it leads up to that. So I would imagine that it's going to be similar to God of War in the sense of, like, it's you, this tiny figure, fighting a giant that takes up the entire screen the same way, like when you fought Zeus or Poseidon in God of War. It looks like a very interesting game, and again, it's a game to show you what the PS5 is capable of. So you really want to play this game so you get the full feel because the whole point of the game is to utilize everything new that the PS5 can do. So you're going to want to try this game. I know I'm going to want to try it, so I really know what this PS5 is capable of, because not everybody's going to do that, you know? Not everybody's going to utilize every aspect of the PS5 that's new, because they want to make their own personal game. Godfall is specifically here to show us what this bad boy can do. And for that, you know, I'm excited for it, and I'm definitely going to catch me a copy when PS5 drops.
Good. And then you said how much does that usually typically run you for
game?
Yeah.
$60. It's always 60.
Okay.
Unless you get like a deluxe edition, something special about it. The game itself's always $60. It's always the go-to.
Dang, I remember when games were like 25, 22.
Been a long time since that.
$18.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
if you go to Walmart in the bargain bin, you can definitely find something of that sort, but that's going to be like Elmo's spelling adventure, you know? That's what you're going to get for $18.
But yeah, but like you said, you'll take that $60 game, bring it to GameStop, and they'll offer you...
Yeah, GameStop's trash.
They'll offer you like 32 cents.
Honestly, you people don't even deserve airspace.
Yeah, GameStop, I always had an issue with them.
Boo to you, sir. Boo to you.
And they're being phased out, let's be honest.
Absolutely,
so.
Absolutely. I said it last week, I'll say it again, that Microsoft and Sony are putting a heavy emphasis on their streaming services, so that's PS Now and Xbox Pass, because they're trying to do away, Sony wants to do away with discs altogether. Their original console doesn't even take discs. They don't want any of that anymore, and I would imagine a big part of it is dealing with stores like GameStop. They're probably sick of dealing with them.
Yeah.
They're probably
they have to pay them.
Yeah, GameStop's probably expecting way too much money from them. So you're like, you know what? We don't even need you anymore. This is the age of the internet. Yep. Barely anybody buys discs
This is the
anymore.
distribution age.
Yes.
You can get things out faster yourself.
Yes.
For a lot less money than dealing with third party.
Exactly.
Paying them.
Exactly.
For all you're really paying
shelf
them
space.
For is shelf space. Exactly.
Shelf space.
Yep.
That's it. And nobody even likes GameStop. They just happen to be like the only
physical.
Yes, that's strictly gaming. You know, you'll see like small local gaming places, but like as far as like a a cross-country thing, GameStop's the only one. You know, they have a monopoly on that. So again, guys, there's not too much info on this game yet. You know, I just wanted to give you a rundown. Its release date.
But that sounds really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about it. So getting into gaming is officially over, people. Big Drip loves you. Thank you for watching. Mwah.
Oh. That was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Try to be sincere for once in my life.
Yes. That's okay. You're always sincere.
No, I'm not.
You're just always late, too. So.
No, I'm not. Most of those are lies. Most of that is lies. Only when I'm talking to you, the viewer, am I sincere. When I'm talking to it's just me and you, I'm most likely lying.
Yes.
Big Drip's a liar.
Oh, man. So we wanted to do something out for October.
Yes.
And we wanted to start it off. We're not talking horror movies yet. I think that'll be next week. We'll get into a little bit more into that. I do got my Freddy Krueger shirt on.
Nice.
Probably can't see it.
Nope, definitely can't.
But it's there.
It's a nightmare in Pop Culture Corner Studios.
Yes, yes. And he's just going to pop out of here and get us.
So we're still trying to work out the details as far as to what we're going to do for spooky season. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, we're going to talk Monarch Verse for a little bit. Because we were going to, honestly, spooky season or not, we were going to talk about this because I am so excited to finally see, like, they're trying to do an MCU-esque deal with King Kong, Godzilla, and all the monsters that come with those two properties, because they're the biggest of the two. Yes. But all the outside monsters that come with them, they're going to bring those all together, and they possibly might even go outside of that and grab some other monsters, you know, from other universes or other studios, whatever the case may be. But, you know, MCU-esque Cinemaverse with giant monsters.
I think it's awesome.
Amazing.
I think it's awesome.
Amazing. Throw some giant robots in, and that's it. We have the coolest thing you've ever heard of.
Right? Get some Jaegers.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is these are like the brief points of, by the way, this actually ties into something. So Kong and Godzilla got pushed back.
Again?
Yeah, so it was actually supposed to come out next month.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Did not know that. I
Yep.
thought there was always a 2021 release on that.
No, they actually had a November 2020 release
Really?
date, and it already got pushed back to May 21st, 2021. It'll be directed by Adam Wingard.
Wow, next summer's gonna be crazy.
Literally, it's going to be the season of blockbusters.
Seriously.
Crazy amounts of.
Seriously.
But that's as far as 2020 sucking. Like 2021, all things willing, we'll have something to watch probably every couple weeks.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So when those episodes of Pop Culture Corner during that time are gonna be crazy because we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
We'll be constantly reviewing film and giving you guys spoiler-free breakdowns.
So excited for all of those films, by the way.
So the Kong and Godzilla film the screenplay was written by Eric Pearson and Max Borenstein, starring Millie Bobby Brown, bringing her back,
Okay.
Alexander Skarsgård, and Isa Gonzalez.
Okay.
Monarch's involvement is obviously going to be heavy.
Yes, of course.
They're
kind of the ones tying everything together in the first place.
They're like the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They're like S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
of this.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I
John
loved-
Goodman is Nick Fury.
Yes. Sam Jackson could have been Sam Jackson.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he
except-
wasn't Kong.
Yeah,
He's in everything.
he wanted to pick a fight with a big gorilla, so you lost that battle. You
Sorry.
got smushed.
Sorry.
Too.
There's some things even you can't do.
I really liked. So the first Godzilla that came out, I think it was 2014.
Correct.
So that movie, everyone complained, there's not enough Godzilla, there's not enough Godzilla, it was all human, blah, blah. The next one comes out, Godzilla King of Monsters comes out, and then it was too much monster.
Yeah, these
It's
people
like you just cannot satisfy anybody.
and
It's
they
always someone,
complaining.
yes,
There.
I was gonna say
PG,
something else.
PG
Yes.
like Jizzle.
PG.
So I do as the first Godzilla movie. So I remember this clear as day because this is like the one and only thing. Like this is the thing me and my father had growing up was Godzilla movies.
Mm-hmm.
He always took me to see Godzilla movies. He bought me the games and the toys and stuff. Whatever. I'm not gonna go into my family life. But I remember I was so excited when this movie came out, and I remember specifically the trailer was a scene of the soldiers skydiving down into the city after Godzilla had destroyed it. It's smoke everywhere. You can't see anything.
It was like a red hue.
Yeah, red hue to it. They come through the clouds. They're face to face with him. I swear to God, people, I can't say this PG, so I'm just gonna change what I was about to say. My jaw dropped, and I was soaking wet. I was so excited. Oh my God! And I don't understand why people complain about that. It's kind of the same as Transformers, right? A lot of people complain about it, but I like when you do movies about like Godzilla or Transformers or something of that sort, and like humans aren't completely useless.
Right.
You ever notice that? They
Yes.
make alien movies, alien invasion movies, stuff like that, and we're just like helpless ants that are just being
Waiting to be stepped on.
Exactly. But in like Transformers and Godzilla, we actually
play a
can
big
fight
part.
back.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know why people are like upset about that. Like, buddy, you're a human. So I don't know why that bothers you. I absolutely adored it. And then King of Monsters came out, and now it's monster brawl time. Like I got best of both worlds with that.
Yeah,
It
was
and
awesome.
The cinematography in that movie. My goodness.
I liked how the angles that they would shoot from.
Yeah.
Sometimes they in our intro, I have a shot of it's shot from a car,
Yes.
and you're just looking up, and then Ghidorah's running towards Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then they meet face to face, and
Yes.
you're at a human angle,
Yes.
looking up towards it.
Yeah, amazing.
And it's just, oh my God. Yeah.
That scene of Ghidorah rising from the volcano,
Mm-hmm.
and he raises his head, he shoots the lightning up. That's beautiful cinematography, and I just don't understand how you would have anything negative to say about that.
No,
That movie was so epic and intense, and I'm hoping they can keep that same intensity for Kong versus Godzilla. Gong. That was funny.
Yes, that would be great.
So here's a question for you. Now, it's from what I can tell, right, from each separate movie, Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, right? the size difference, from what I can tell, King Kong's about 3, maybe 4 stories high, right? From apparently, and from the angles they used and what I can use from what I saw,
Godzilla's like 22 stories high.
Exactly. Kong is much smaller than Godzilla, from what I can tell. So I'm wondering how they're gonna like give Kong, even if they are the same size, Godzilla is still immensely stronger than King Kong. He's pure nuclear radiation.
Yeah, so I think, and don't quote me, but this could be how they go with it.
Yep.
I think honestly they'll do like a Batman versus Superman style thing where they might be pitted against each other at the start.
Yep.
But in these films, they're typically the good guy.
Yeah.
Right? So typically. So they'll at one point they'll figure out that they need to work together to solve some other problem.
Well,
maybe another monster that they need to fight together.
Yes, that they can't stop on their own. But it's a little different because these aren't people characters. This is a giant gorilla and a giant lizard, so they don't have intelligence the same way. So it's kind of hard to like establish that teamwork, we gotta work together thing. There's no save Martha scene in Kong versus Godzilla, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, like, you're probably right in that, but in the fight itself, like, again, these aren't people, so you're not gonna see King Kong, like, building a suit and doing CrossFit to be able to beat Godzilla, right? So I wonder how they're gonna, like, give him a fighting chance. And I think it's gonna come down to intelligence. Because in Skull Island, they show that Kong knows how to, like, he adapts and he has some kind of intelligence. He was using weapons and tools and chains. Remember
the chain? Yeah. He wraps it around his,
Exactly. Godzilla's just
obliterates that creature.
Godzilla's just brute strength and radiation. You know, he doesn't really, he's a reptile, you know? So I think that's the focal point right there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see it. I think that
absolutely,
those again. I like what you said earlier about movies where like the action and stuff that I like to go see is stuff that wouldn't happen on a daily, like, outside.
No, you would never see these things.
Right. I like something like with that sci-fi spin.
Yes.
Something that's otherworldly.
Yes.
And those movies are the epitome of that.
Absolutely.
Right. You got a giant radiation-filled I said almost a leopard, lizard, and then a giant monkey gorilla that
stands up straight.
Yeah, and they're fighting each other in New York City.
Yeah, probably.
That's great. That's great film.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't beat that.
No, you really can't. And I really don't. I honestly can't understand why people complain about that. Like, what were you expecting? Like, detailed dialogue and, dramatic scenery and
Chris
a movie.
Nolan depth.
Yeah, depth. That's a good word. You're looking for depth in a movie about a giant lizard fighting a giant gorilla. So just watch them punch each other in the face and enjoy it like everybody else. Stop being a weirdo.
Yes, I like that. But. So yeah, we'll definitely be able to see that.
That's the guy you got to keep an extra eye on. The guy who comes out of the Godzilla movie like there was no depth and the dialogue was terrible. Buddy, what are you talking about? It's a movie about a giant lizard that shoots lasers.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Breathes blue fire.
Yeah, you should keep an eye on that guy because he's unstable and he might burn down a church or something.
Yeah, don't go to the movies with that guy.
If my NSA agent is listening, his name is Kevin. Shout out to you.
Yes.
Keep an eye on that guy.
Hi, Kevin. Kevin told me he was having a baby in the next couple of months.
Really?
Yeah.
Kevin's a good guy. He's a great listener. Yeah. He doesn't really talk back much, but he does a lot of good listening.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm sad and alone, I'll just talk to him. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? I think we're pretty close. He never says anything, but it's cool.
Yeah, kind of like James Gunn for me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Kevin's my James Gunn.
Yes.
But Kevin actually likes me and knows who I am.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between liking you and being assigned. So.
Yeah, I technically am just an assignment.
Yes. So yeah, we're excited to see that film, guys.
Absolutely.
Let us know in the comments what you're most excited about for Kong and Godzilla's mashup, fight, teamwork, whatever.
Again, I love over-the-top action movies. You don't have to think about it. It's just, again, a giant monkey and a giant lizard punching each other in the face. pure entertainment, if you ask me.
Yeah. We're going to do something now. We're going to do something that's going to be coming from me because someone, and now we're going to point this way over here, someone...
Who? Where's he?
Yeah, someone wasn't able to join me in the theater this week. So if you guys do follow our TikToks, TikTok, Snapchat and Instagrams and stuff, you'll know that I went and saw Tenet this week. And I was one of, again, desolate. Looked like an apocalypse movie. It was me and like 4 other people, but those 4 people were together. So it was really just 2 parties.
Yeah. And you by yourself.
And yeah, me by myself. Which, listen, I don't mind going to movies alone. I enjoy it, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it gives me like solitude and like, I don't know, it relaxes me.
I mean, at a time like this, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like in a typical theater experience, I don't know, I would feel like a,
Oh,
well, I am, but I would feel like a nerd.
No, I love it. I've done this several times as well. I have done like 7 days straight, or 6 days straight, at like 9 in the morning, go and see a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like on a vacation from work or something.
Yeah, yeah.
If there's a lot playing, I'll go each morning at like 10. And at 10 in the morning,
Nobody's really there, right?
nobody except me and
Other
like
super nerds.
no, like 60-year-old guys.
Oh.
And they don't talk during movies because they're great. They're great neighbors
Well,
to have.
not for nothing, but you know, after the age of 60, your vocal cords ain't so strong anymore. So even if he was talking, you wouldn't be able to hear him.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the best time. I think that's the best time to go to a movie is early in the morning.
Okay.
You're fresh awake. Your brain is stimulated.
Well, I like that last show of the night. It's usually around 11-ish.
Yeah,
I like
it's
those.
Too late for me.
Yeah? I like those shows.
I mean, Stephanie knows. I fall asleep on the couch at like 10:30 if I'm trying to watch a movie. I gotta watch it when I'm awake and stimulated. I went and saw Tenet. I'm going to give this movie an 8.9 out of 10.
It's high.
That is very high on my list.
Well, you're a big Nolan fan, too.
Very big Nolan fan.
He loves Nolan, so you couldn't say anything bad if you wanted to.
No, probably not. But this movie makes you... I can't even get the words out. It's so... You probably need to see it at least 3 times to get everything. And that's typical with Chris Nolan movies.
Yeah.
Like Inception, Interstellar. It does take a couple watches or a couple viewings to grab every detail because there's so much going on.
Yeah. That's a side note, that's a great marketing tactic to make it like, so you have to make, Nolan's a genius for all of this, by the way. You have to make it entertaining enough to go see it in the first place, but also confusing enough that you have to come back 1 more, 2 more times.
Yes.
I mean, that's genius level marketing right there. And the fact that like it can be that level of confusing, but yet people still show up to watch it, you know, that takes talent. So shouts out to you for that one.
And now that he's an established director, he's kind of playing with things.
Yes.
Because the inversion is what he uses in this. So there's a lot of like time is what it's based on, right? So it's not time travel necessarily, but the future is communicating with the present.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Through this inversion technology where you can kind of go back, or
But strictly through communication, right? You can't physically go back?
Oh, no, you sure can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that, I don't want to get into too much because this is our spoiler-free one.
Yes.
Especially since
I haven't even
Justice
seen it yet.
hasn't seen it.
Big joke.
It's hard to explain without giving certain key elements away.
Okay,
But,
fair enough.
There's a lot of time. It's confusing. It's the way that the time is warped. John David Washington, wonderful lead character. You know, you as the audience, you can relate to him. You like him. You want to see what happens, and you get attached throughout the film. Robert Pattinson steals the show, though.
Really?
Robert Pattinson is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Okay.
He murders this you feel safe when he's there, when he's on screen. I don't know what it was. But
Makings of a great Batman.
yeah, you felt safe when he was on screen. Like, you knew what was going on the whole time.
You think Nolan's gonna pick him up as like one of his regulars after this movie? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They see a lot more Pattinson in a Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Similar to like who? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. You know, every director has their kind of go-to for actors. You know, people they're used to working with.
Yeah, Chris Nolan typically uses the same characters over and over and over again.
Exactly.
But yeah, I do know what you mean. But Nolan has a strict cast list.
Yeah.
And he kind of abides by that.
Yes.
But that's what's cool about it. It's almost like he has his own universe where these people are playing different characters.
Yeah.
Like each movie.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like American Horror Story where they kind of change everyone up.
Yeah.
But it's the same cast.
Yeah. Chris, if you're watching, buddy, #1 fan over here.
Yes.
Clearly, you can see that.
Yes.
Clearly.
I mean, I could watch Interstellar over and over and over.
Really?
Again. Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I like the movie and everything, but I have seen it 3-4 times and I still have questions. So
yeah, that's what he does. He does. Him and J.J. Abrams are very good with the mystery box kind of film.
Yeah.
Where at the end, there may not be a resolution that you can understand.
Yeah.
But it's a solid enough ending where you're okay with it.
Satisfied.
Yeah, you're satisfied.
But
like they kind of set up this film to, it could have a sequel, but it will never, because Chris Nolan will, besides The Dark Knight, he doesn't really do sequels.
Yeah.
And
outside
like this movie,
and that was a planned trilogy to begin with. So.
Yeah. So this movie theoretically could have a sequel, but it won't. But that's the way they leave things off. Is like now you're wanting to see these characters more and more. But yeah, so I highly recommend this movie. I highly recommend go seeing it at least twice. I know I will be. So, and once Justice goes and sees it, we'll do a little bit more of a spoiler-filled
review
conversation.
Yeah, more deep, more depth. Because again, I haven't seen it yet. Unfortunately, until this kicks off, I still have a regular job I have to work, and I was not able to make time to see the movie yet. But we'll go see it together. That'll be your second viewing, and then we'll do a spoiler-filled review, and we'll go into depth and detail about the movie. Because don't get it twisted, I'm definitely interested in seeing it. And really, not for nothing, but that and New Mutants are our only movie options at the moment.
Yeah.
And we've already seen New Mutants and reviewed it, so Tenet's next.
Yes, it's a great movie, and it keeps you. There's really not a minute, and this is how I judge a movie.
Yep.
There's no bathroom break time. Like
Yeah.
not even a second
Yes.
where you can leave and go to the bathroom.
That's how you know it's a bad movie. If you can leave and go to the bathroom and not care or really not miss anything because there's nothing going on to begin with, it's a bad movie.
Yeah, you cannot leave because you'll come back and you'll be completely lost.
Yes.
Or you miss some key element because there's not a minute to spare.
Yep.
Or throw away.
Well,
you need to see every single minute.
And if you're willing to get up and go to the bathroom during the movie, whether it's necessary to understand or not, you know, it can't be that great of a movie. You can't be enjoying yourself that much if you're willing to miss something.
Yeah. Unless
your life is on the line in this emergency bathroom break, you know.
Yes. Yes. If you can't hold your bladder or other for 2.5 hours, then I mean.
Tenet's runtime is 2.5?
2.5.
Yeah.
Then you should probably wait for home release because you can pause it.
I honestly was expecting it to be longer. I'm surprised 2.5 is relatively small. I was expecting a 3-hour movie out of that.
I'd say that's about average now. It's 2.5.
Yeah, absolutely. But Nolan, he's a very deep director. His movies always have there's very much a lot of depth to it. There's a lot going on. So typically speaking, I always expect his movies to be about 3-hour mark.
Longer.
Yeah.
With that said though, I wish it was 3 hours long, 4 hours long. I would have loved it.
Oh God.
I would have sat there and just a smile on my face. But yeah, great film. And I think John David Washington's actually going to be. I think he could maybe come in and star in a lot more lead roles because he really. And like you can hear Denzel in his voice. It's
Really?
really weird.
Yeah.
At points, I could have swore it was Denzel.
Really?
I swear to God, I was like, ugh. Like the voice when he's talking like generally to you, like not like excited talk, but when he's just conversating with you, he's very much the same tones and
that's hilarious.
And it
that's
sounds
awesome.
exactly like it. I'm just like,
that's awesome.
I could have swore I'm just watching a young Denzel. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington is by far my favorite.
And Robert Pattinson really, if I didn't already believe he could be a good Batman, this movie,
yes,
it's a spy thriller.
Well, his acting, because I wanted to talk more Batman anyways today. So Robert Pattinson's a great segue into Batman. I have noticed, because you can't ignore Twilight, right? Like it's too silly.
Everyone needs their start.
Yeah, it was. First of all, it's a huge franchise, right? So everybody and their mother knows about it, and it's just too silly to ignore. That being said, I think this man has redeemed it. Because every time I bring it up, I think Robert Pattinson's going to be a great Batman. They're like, no, because of Twilight. Mm-hmm. But if you watch anything else, Making It Rain, if you watch anything else starring Robert Pattinson, you see his acting skill. You see his capability to be more serious and more...
The Lighthouse, wow.
Batman-esque, you know?
The Lighthouse is crazy.
That deep, no game, very serious to the point character.
I at the time, I was a A-list Stubbs member for AMC. This is back before all this started happening. And this is a couple of years ago. I got invited to a pre-screening of Good Times.
Nice.
Good Time with Robert Pattinson. But they didn't let you know what the movie was.
Really?
So you just got there.
Interesting.
That's how they do pre-screenings.
Okay.
They're like, it's like a month before it actually comes out, and they're trying to get a feel for what it would be like. And and you just, on your way out, you just write down on a piece of paper what you thought.
Okay.
And it's completely free to you and a guest.
Okay.
And that was mine.
That's cool.
I got invited to go see that.
Question, how often do they do that when you're a Stub member?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot.
Really?
So, I got invited to go see that, and that was one of, I went into that movie thinking, well, this is the Twilight guy.
Yeah, like, it's going to be silly.
You know what I mean? As soon as I saw who on the cast was, I was like, Robert Pattinson. What?
This movie's going to be terrible.
And it was lights out great.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh my God,
See,
lights
and that's
out.
my point exactly.
Lights out. It's about he's trying to redeem his brother, and it's like a thriller, and it's constantly going. Constantly going.
I think a big part of it is that, because to my knowledge, a lot of movies he's done outside of Twilight they're not like, how do I word this? They're not indie films. They're not like low budget films, but they're not blockbusters either.
They're not franchises.
So the two things he's known for is Twilight and being the next Batman. So everybody, generally speaking, the majority, that's what they go to. Oh, the new Batman is the Twilight guy, because they haven't seen Good Time. They haven't seen Lighthouse. They haven't seen all these other movies where he shows his actual acting style and who he is, you know? So I think I have big expectations and high hopes for this movie.
Yeah, and we say it every week, I am vengeance.
I am vengeance. I am expecting the worst, praying for the best.
Yeah, I think that's all we can do, right?
Yeah. I hope this movie works.
And I like how we're seeing Paul Dano's Riddler, or how we've seen him so far.
No, so can we talk to Batman a little bit?
Yeah, we're at an hour and 8 minutes, and we want to do multiverse.
Oh, yes, we do. There's a lot to talk.
There is a lot. But hey, if we run over a little 1 hour,
a
little bit over an hour and a half, I think it's okay.
I know you people aren't complaining. I know you want to hear us talk more.
Yeah, so why not?
So,
why not?
I'm seeing very much a Hush kind of vibe, storyline out of this. I think it's going to be a slight comedy. I think we'll see some aspects of Year One in there, and then also Hush. But also, his suit, the bat suit, looks very similar to the Gotham by Gaslight design.
Yes.
But just with that actual modern touch to it.
Yeah.
But as far as like the collar and even the cowl itself, it looks very, very similar to Gotham by Gaslight. So if you guys are familiar with it, if you haven't seen it and or read it, I suggest you do because it's a very good story. It's Batman back in 16th century Europe chasing Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's excellent. Big Drip recommends.
It's a recommendation.
Recommendation. So I'm getting a lot of, those are the vibes I'm getting from what we got in the trailer, and those are three great source materials.
A lot of people think that Paul Dano's Riddler
Yes.
is a combination of the Riddler and Hush.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I think that would be cool. You know, it's not your mother's Jim Carrey's Riddler. It's not
So
it's not the
goofy.
campy, goofy.
Yeah.
He's more sadistic and
Which I've been dying to see.
yeah. I think the Riddler combination would be really cool.
Yeah. So
Like,
if
really,
you guys
really
have
cool.
seen, if you guys keep up on the DCAU, and that's their shared animated universe, also a Big Drip recommendation because these movies are excellent, people. They did Batman Hush, and I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna spoil this one for you. It's about 6 months old now. You can't blame me for spoiling it. But come at the end, Hush is the Riddler.
Yes.
You know, he's been through a whole bunch. He's been locked up for a while. He managed to escape, and he disguised himself and pretended to be somebody else. So, and that's very much what it seems like it's gonna happen. Like Matt Reeves is doing in the Batman. That's what it appears to be, anyways.
Yep. That, and again, if we did ruin that for anybody, you have had ample time to see that movie.
Yes. I believe the rule is 6 months. No.
I usually I'll give it like 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months, and if you haven't seen it and you wanted to see it that bad, and you
should have
still
seen it by
haven't
now.
seen it,
There's
it's
a problem.
yeah.
There's a
where-
problem.
And don't give me the I don't have time thing, because
Make it.
that's all we have now is time.
Make it.
Yes.
Make time.
And make time.
You're not even supposed to be leaving your house right now, anyways.
Yeah.
So again, people, I just really want to recommend that DCAU universe because it's absolutely excellent, and maybe we'll start reviewing those as well. Any fans of those watching, get in the comment section. Let us know if you want to hear some in-depth reviews on those movies because they are excellent, and I'm excited to see where they're going from here on out because they kind of put a little bow and kind of tied it all together with the last installment in the form of Apocalypse War.
Yeah.
So I would like to see where that's headed. I would like to talk about that. If you're interested, you guys let us know. Again, we always want you involved. We want you to be a part of the family.
Yes. I wasn't a really big fan of the animated movies just because animation isn't really my thing.
It's definitely my
I can't really get into it. It feels like I'm watching a cartoon, and I don't know. I'm more
prefer.
Yeah, I'm a live action person, or just straight read the comic book. But I have now, since you spoke so highly of it, and as you know, you made me watch them.
Yes.
Not made me. You didn't force me.
Made is a good word.
Yeah.
Because you can't see it, but there was a red dot on your head.
Yes.
And we're just waiting for you to say no, and then we'll pull the trigger. Bang!
But I watched them, and honestly, they're great. Like Flashpoint was my favorite one out of them. Apocalypse War was great as
Apocalypse War was just amazing.
War was alright. What was the other one I liked a lot?
Was it Dark? Because Dark was really good.
Oh yeah, Justice League Dark.
Dark was really
Yes,
good.
yes.
Yes, it was.
But they're great. They're great.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Clearly, they know what they're doing.
So it's when it comes to, and I'm the exact opposite of this, what like just said as far as preference, because I adore the animated, and I think a big part of it is we talked about this last night in the quick dip, but I love DC.
Yes.
These are by far my favorite characters. So when it comes to live action, my expectations are beyond high, right? So I honestly don't think it, to be perfectly honest, they're too high. You cannot reach my standards because I love these characters so much.
Right.
But with the animated, that's kind of eased. It's, I can reel it in a little bit. Because one, with animated, you can take stories straight out of comic books and put it, you can't really do that with live action. You can do it in animated, right? And the performance, like, you can do whatever you want in an animated movie and it will flow correctly. You can't do that with live action because of things like CGI and cinematography, etc. That's not the same issue in animated, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
So I'm definitely lean on the animated side, especially when it comes to DC.
And with animated, you can suspend your belief a little bit more because you know it's not real.
Exactly.
Like it's easier for your mind to suspend some things.
Exactly. So
whereas
again,
live action, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And again, that kind of eases those high expectations, and I can actually sit back and enjoy without criticizing every little detail.
Right.
You know?
And the animated movies, you can use a lot of characters in each film, but tone it down if you want to do a Teen Titans movie, it's just the Teen Titans. Or Batman solo, it's just Batman. But a lot of their films are the Justice League, and there's lots of characters running around the whole time.
Exactly.
And they can do it because
it's animated.
It's animated, whereas live action, you have to go through all the casting, pay all these people big money, and then you got the constraints of screen time.
Exactly. You know, when it comes to animated, you can include all these characters and not give them any lines. So now you don't have to hire anybody. You just add them to the animation. Don't get it twisted. These animated movies aren't cheap, but it's definitely, in comparison to a live action Hollywood film, it's much, it's a lot easier for them to work. And I think there's more I think Warner Brothers gives the animated directors more creative freedom, because there isn't so much on the line. There isn't so much to be lost in these animated films versus live action.
They don't get theatrical releases.
Yes, exactly. There's too much to be lost in the live action for Warner Brothers to just be like, do your thing and make a movie. But God forbid they do that, because, and I'm not the only one who says this. A lot of people say this. As far as DC, their animated series are much better than the live action, because they've been releasing around the same time as each other. Over here we got all the DCAU releasing, and then we have the DCEU over here releasing, and I'm not alone in this. There's a lot of people that lean on the animated side because the movies are just better and more well done. So I think Warner Brothers needs to take in consideration, like, dude, you trusted these directors and producers to hire them. Let them do their job.
Let them make their vision.
Yes.
Or let them create
we'll use Snyder as an example. You knew who Snyder is when you hired him. So let him do what he does.
Yes.
Stop poking your nose into things. Same thing with Suicide Squad. That's why Suicide Squad came out the way it did, because Warner Brothers just wouldn't let David Ayer do his thing.
They kept, well, your runtime's going to be this. Well, we don't want you to include this because that's going to be in this. It's like, how about you just let them do what they set out to do?
Yes.
And then if it doesn't work out, back to the drawing board.
Exactly.
You already hired them.
You don't bring him back for the sequel. But no, instead, they butt their nose into it. They take out a bunch of stuff that he had planned, and then you hire a company that focuses on making trailers to put it all together. Imagine that. Instead of just letting the man do what you hired him to do.
It's one giant trailer.
Yeah, that's it. It's exactly what it is. That's exactly what they did. They hired a company whose job, what they do is make trailers, and they hired them to slap Suicide Squad together. We watched an hour and a half long trailer.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
I paid money for that.
Jesus.
I paid money to see that.
I think they're headed in the right direction finally. I think they got the point, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we should give them a little bit more creative freedom. Maybe we should just let them do their own thing. Maybe we shouldn't step in between a director and his vision.
Yeah.
So
great transition into Marvel and the multiverse, because over here in Marvel, they've got this again. So this is also something we talked in Quick Dip into the Spider-Verse. You guys go check that out on YouTube.com under Pop Culture Corner. But the MCU and Disney have the literal world in their hands, literally. So they can afford to just play around and try new things, and let's get out there. Let's get wacky and wild. Kevin, you do your thing, man. You've been handling this for like 12 years now. Do your thing. Have some fun. I want to see what you're going to do, and I think this is what the next couple phases are going to be.
Yeah, phase 4 and 5 are shaping up, and it was hard to get excited for phase 4 for me because so many of our favorite characters were gone.
Fair enough.
you know, wrapped up. And it's not that I'm not excited. Don't, again, maybe the wrong choice of words.
Yeah.
But Cap has always been my, that's
Your go-to.
That's my go-to dude. I love going to see Chris Evans and Cap on screen.
Absolutely.
And without him being there, and without Robert Downey, it's like all of a sudden now you're thrust into this world, like without your parents.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
but I think and now Chadwick's gone and you know
R.I.P. Wakanda forever.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a different world.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same Avengers stories and now we're gonna get a little bit more of like creativity and maybe not so typical team ups and you know
just new things. New things, new heroes, young heroes, and we'll see a lot of inclusion of because they've always done that. They take relatively no-name heroes, but in the first run, the first Infinity Saga, they took these were like B-list characters, but they are huge. They're B-list for the general public, but in the Marvel world, they're huge. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. These are the original Avengers. In Marvel, they're huge, but like in the general public, they were like B-list heroes, Right. But now...
Especially Iron Man.
Yes, exactly. But now, we're going into the next saga, I'm assuming is Secret War Saga, so that's what we're going to call it. And now they're really taking no-name heroes. Moon Knight, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
These just like She-Hulk.
Yeah.
They're just taking these really, really... really no-name heroes.
And they'll make them household.
They will make them, I promise.
Yes.
Beware, mark these words, you're going to see a lot of, like, I'm going to use Moon Knight for example, because I believe and I hope this show is going to happen. Once Disney actually starts working on Moon Knight and it's released, I promise you, you're going to see Moon Knight everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
That's going to be great, too, because Moon Knight is a character I've always liked.
Me too.
I've
Very
read a
much
couple
so.
of stories and,
He's a cool character.
It's one of those, he's like, oh, it's like kind of like Batman, I guess.
He's like a ninja,
Yeah.
it's cool. I like him.
So with the multiverse talk, we had mentioned this earlier, so Electro is going to be coming into the MCU in some shape or form.
Yep.
Jamie Foxx said that he will not be blue this time around. Like, he will look more comic accurate.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was like a little tidbit, but he did confirm that Electro is in fact joining the MCU in some form or fashion, and he will not be like blue animated that look.
So I think this is how it's gonna go down. This is Big Drip's speculation, Big Drip's theory. Doctor Strange 2. He's gonna learn some kind of new spell, some kind of new something. He's gonna start opening up dimensions. So his travel, this right here, right? He's gonna do something.
Ring thing.
He's gonna do that, but in a much more powerful sense, on accident. And he's gonna end up, instead of traveling to a different place, he's gonna travel to a different dimension. He's not gonna understand what's going on. The Ancient One is gone to explain it. She can't explain. She's gone already. Right. So he's on his own, and whilst trying to fix this, he makes it worse. Right. He's opening up portals everywhere. Random old villains are coming back and new villains are coming in and people that aren't supposed to be there are coming through and it's chaos, right? Everything's going to hell.
It's madness.
Multiverse of madness. Things go wild. Doctor Strange can't fix it. Nobody can fix it. Spider-Man, he's 15, right? So he's, hey Strange, you want some help? He ends up falling in a portal closes, he's stuck. He can't come out. Boom. Here comes Electro, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I remember you. I'm coming for you. Because
Yeah.
he's a big Spider-Man fanboy. He's still butthurt that he got beat last time by Garfield, right?
Yeah.
But something's different about you, right? So I think Multiverse of Madness is going to end in madness. I don't think it's going to end. It's going to be like Infinity War. The problem is not going to be solved at the end of that movie. At the end of Phase 4, there's going to be a lot of question marks, a lot of confusion, a lot of I need answers right now, a lot of death threats to Disney. You better answer this question right now or I swear to God I'm going to blow up your house.
Right. So you think that in Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness, whatever happens will not be fixed by the end of the movie.
Exactly. But
Interesting.
and that not only that, but that's where
And then it will leak into other movies.
Phase 4 is ending with Multiverse of Madness. So
Yes.
I can say with confidence that's how it's gonna go leading into 5. That's how you leave people craving more.
Yeah.
You know.
And that, like we had said in our other video, you know, this may be the first domino to tip over, and that
Exactly.
and that will, you know, get us moving towards Secret Wars,
Exactly.
and it will allow us, because I mean, for all intents and purposes, or lack of a better term, this movie, Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse Madness, seems like it is the response to The Flash from DC.
Yes.
That's why Kevin Feige moved it from before Thor 4, say that 5 times fast.
Before Thor 4, before Thor 4, before Thor 4, before Thor 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I
You
really
asked.
appreciate it.
You asking.
Doing that.
Drip shall deliver.
So, you know, there's a reason that it got pushed back, and it
Yes.
wasn't coronavirus, because this was in the future as it is already. So they pulled it, put it back, and now we're ending Phase 4 with it, and there is a reason for that. So, you know, this movie looks like it's going to open the doors. Maybe end of Phase 4, you know, that's when we're going to get, you know, Fantastic Four.
I doubt it.
Mutants.
Honestly, I doubt it. I think what's happening in 4 is that they're just gonna acknowledge them. They're gonna say on screen in a movie that they're here. We might get like an end credit scene where you see them, but I don't think we're gonna get actual movie footage of them, of either or, until Phase 5.
Right. I just said that.
We might.
Oh, no, I get what you mean. I get what you
You
mean.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we might get I guess you could call it a cameo that they meet somebody, like a child or something. Oh, she's a mutant. We can't do anything with her. She's a child. And they keep it going. She has no role in the movie. She just happened to be a mutant.
Right.
They'll establish that they're involved.
I
You
see
what I'm saying? And then come Phase 5, now we'll actually get movie time of them.
Yeah. I'm excited to see whatever they do.
Yeah, me too. Oh, of course.
As long as the Fantastic Four get in there, fan casting for Mr. Fantastic is Justice Holmes' favorite fan casting would be John Krasinski as
Jim
Mr.
Halpert.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Office veteran.
Yeah, Jim Halpert definitely would fit the bill. That fan art that I saw of him, the only thing I'll have difficulty with, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people because he is known as Jim Halpert, so it's going to be hard to sell him as a super genius, you know? He fits the bill look-wise, but as far as because let's be real, that's what happens, you know? People see an actor and they compare him, same thing, like Robert Pattinson, you see him in a movie and then you compare him to his biggest role.
Yes.
Besides that, which is The Office.
Yeah.
So when you know the comparison, you're like, I don't see this guy as a super genius that's gonna build a quantum realm portal, you know. So I think that would be the only issue. But outside of that, I trust it.
Yeah, and he's also attached to the Captain Hydra.
Yes.
For Doctor Strange 2, and it's not attached in any official wording.
Yes. Yep.
But
possibilities.
possible Tom Cruise Iron Man, John Krasinski Captain Hydra, which would all be cool things. I think those all are good ideas. We'll get the best of whatever. Marvel knows what they're doing. They'll cast who needs to be in the role, and they will make it work the way that we want to see it. So again, no shade or no concern there. Whoever they get to do these things will be the people that should be doing
Yes.
it. With that said, real quick, I did forget something earlier, and when you brought Miss Marvel up, it reminded me. So
Casting.
yes. Iman Vellani has been cast as Miss Marvel in the Disney Plus series.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I haven't seen her in too many things.
She
looks a little bit familiar. I would have to look into it a little bit more. She looks familiar, but I don't know from where.
She fits the bill as the character.
Yeah. I'll throw the picture. I'll throw the picture up.
Of course, yeah, so you guys can see.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel's one of those characters that I know who she is. I know what her abilities are. I know somewhat of what she's done, but I don't know her origins. I don't know like her motivations. I don't know much about her. I don't really know her as a person, not like as a hero, but like what her personality traits are. So I'm definitely down to watch. Miss Marvel has very similar abilities to, now not to be confused with Captain Marvel, because at one point Captain Marvel was known as Miss Marvel as well, and then Miss Marvel, this character came out, and now it's strictly Captain Marvel and she's Miss Marvel. Enough for those who don't know, her abilities are similar to Mr. Fantastic's. She has elasticity abilities, so she's able to form her body and in she's able to stretch it out, shape it in different forms. Her fighting technique typically varies from like her growing her fist to like the size of a taxi cab and then smacking somebody with it, or same thing with the foot and the kick, making herself huge, things of that sort. So it'll be cool to see on screen, done correctly.
Disney Plus, she'll get to do the whole 6-episode thing.
Yep.
So
they'll put a TV show. We'll probably see some cameos from other Young Avengers, possibly a Squirrel Girl, Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, that's always been a fan cast.
Yes, I know. I love it.
But yeah, and that brings on the Young Avengers, right? So it looks like we're going to be getting started on that, which that would kind of do it for, the lineups. So, imagine that. So we'd have the main Avengers team.
Yep.
We also have the Young Avengers.
Yep.
Fantastic Four.
Yep.
And a possible mutant team, X-Men,
New X-Men.
Whatever it may be.
Yep. New movies.
And there we go.
Yep.
That's what we need to either face off against Kang, Doom, or just battle
Galactus.
Yeah, or Galactus
Possibly.
would be great.
Yes.
And then the Secret Wars storyline. So they're definitely they are getting ready for something
big.
Huge.
Yes, most definitely.
Huge.
And I love the idea of having the Avengers on the big screen and the young and or new Avengers on Disney Plus. I love the idea of it. I think it's great.
Makes sense.
I think it's a great way to have two fleshed out stories and or sagas and or arcs without having to take up slots.
Right.
Like movie slots.
Yeah, you
right?
don't need to do a Miss Marvel movie.
Exactly. So you have them going on Disney Plus, so that way you can do both at the same time. Because like if all of this was movies, then it would get in the way. Like the story would take much longer. We wouldn't finish Phase 4 until like 4 years from now if they did it that way,
Yeah.
So Disney Plus really is a huge platform.
It allows for exactly.
Yeah. So I highly suggest subscribing and getting a membership if you don't already have it, because all these shows coming out, first of all, they already have all their classics on there, and Disney's worth it. All their classics are definitely worth it. But then all these new series coming out are just, if you ask me, it's definitely worth the $13 a month Disney Plus costs.
$7.99.
$7.99.
Yeah,
for Disney.
Yeah, right around there. $6.99 or $7.99.
So it's definitely worth it. If you don't have it already, I suggest it. Go out and get you that.
Yeah, and if you're not looking to do it right this minute, I'd say subscribe on October 30th, because that's when The Mandalorian Season 2 comes out.
Nice.
Well, if you haven't subscribed, maybe do it now. Watch Mandalorian Season 1.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it yet.
Ample time to watch it.
But yeah, like you said, Disney Plus is a great platform. This is a good thing to do, is take smaller characters, put them on Disney Plus, and when you need them for team-ups and stuff, then you can bring them to the movies and showcase them without having to do a whole origin story.
Now we might even see some multiverse leak into the Disney Plus shows, because Miss Marvel and other Young Avengers are heavily tied to characters like Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales and all these other multiverse alternate versions of characters. So there's a solid chance that that's where we will see a Miles.
Okay.
Because that's my biggest concern. I want to see Miles on screen. And there's a solid chance that they won't throw him into the movies. Because again, they're tied. Miles is heavily tied to the Young Avengers or New Avengers. So Miss Marvel's a perfect way to bring him in.
Yeah.
And I would love to see it.
And he's already been nodded to.
Exactly. In the form of Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Yes.
And back to the multiverse. So I think the multiverse is going to open so many doors.
Oh, it definitely is.
You know, it's going to allow for that creativity from directors, where now you get, and like we had said on Quick Dip, you know, you can take older characters, make them relevant again, or bring back fan favorites for an outing or two, or there's so much that you can do with the multiverse, and so many possibilities, so many things that that haven't been done before, right? That haven't been on screen before, and it gives you limited option. Not limited options, unlimited option to showcase things that aren't necessarily your regular ball and chain Avenger movie.
Yes.
Right. So
I think I meant to say this in Quick Dip last night. I think a major part, because we were talking about how both DC and Marvel seem to be going down the same path with this whole multiverse thing.
Yeah.
It seems that DC is using it as a cop-out, a way to fix the mess that they have made, right, in the form of their first phase. Marvel, on the other hand, they're just free-flowing. Like you just said, we're going to give our directors creative flow and let them do what they want, because we're already so ahead of the game.
Right.
Why not let them play around and have some fun? So I think that's the major difference between the two. And also, I believe Kevin decided to change. See, I call him on a first name basis because we are homies.
Yeah.
Shouts out to you, big man. So I think Kevin pushed back Multiverse of Madness to after Flash, just to see, like, because Multiverse is like, it's big. It's a big thing to throw at general audiences. So he probably would like to see how bad, if it does plummet, like how bad of a disaster that Flashpoint will be. If it is, if it's not taken well, how bad will that be?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Before he releases his multiverse.
Right.
Because if say hypothetically Flash just completely bombs, right, and everybody hates it because of the multiverse thing, that's the reason everybody can't stand it, nobody will go see it, etc. and so forth. Kevin can pull Multiverse of Madness out and not do any damage yet.
Right.
Because Multiverse of Madness is where this all begins. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we can pull that movie without it going crazy. Yeah, we're going to have to wait forever for a Doctor Strange movie, but hey, we dodged atomic bomb. You see where I'm going with this?
I do. I don't think that I'd have a separate view. I don't think they'd ever pull it, just because you know they're the like anyone will go see a Marvel movie because it's Marvel.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily care. Some people just don't care what the subject of it is. It just has the Marvel Studios logo, and they know they'll go.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. A way to limit the damage, if any.
Now this is like the most extreme of cases. Like it really, really, really bombs strictly not because of anything else other than the multiverse thing.
Right.
That you see what I'm saying?
So
that's. I mean, other than that, I don't see why else.
Right. So, for anyone who doesn't know, the multiverse is very complicated.
Yes.
It allows for alternate versions of alternate characters. Basically what it is you have simultaneous universes that all occupy the same space, just in a different reality.
Yep.
They can be accessed with certain abilities.
And or circumstance.
Which could allow you to rewrite your timelines.
Yep.
Bring old characters back,
Yep.
go toward the future. There are so many things that you can do. Just think about it like this: just time traveling, but on like a spectral plane where I can go see a version of me that grew up rich, or I can go find a version of me that's a mechanic, and there's infinite possibilities of what I have become.
Yes.
And they're not all the same. Some of them are similar, some of them aren't, or I don't exist in certain ones. So it becomes tricky, and it becomes something that you have to do correctly.
Yes, especially in a movie, in a live action movie.
With that said, guys, we are wrapping up today's episode, but we do have a couple surprises for next week. Also, stay tuned on our social media this week. We will be making an announcement
Very soon.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Very
so
soon.
You go ahead, you find us on. Now, all of the direct links will be in description, as always. But you go find us. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Snapchat. We're on, I believe Reddit still isn't up yet, correct?
Yeah, I have
We
a busy
will be
week.
on Reddit, though, at some point. We're also on Tumblr. We know it's a dying website. We know. But we're still using it anyways. We want to be on every platform possible. You guys can find us anywhere. You guys can hear us anywhere podcasts are played. Would you like to lay out the specifics?
Yeah, so you can hear us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Breaker, Radio Public, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and we are working on getting on more. There's just not too many more big ones out there. We also are on YouTube, as you can tell.
Yes.
We do upload the audio before the actual YouTube show.
Yep.
So if you like to listen, you can listen. If you like to immerse yourself in the full thing, you can watch it on YouTube.
So go ahead and go over to YouTube. So you're going to want to subscribe on both. You want to be tuned in on both, because we have strict YouTube content, and then we have our podcast that goes on both Spotify and all the podcast platforms as well as YouTube. But we have content strictly for YouTube. And we also have content strictly for things like Snapchat and TikTok. So you go ahead and you find us on all guys, again, we're basically on every platform you can think of. But we make, based on the platform, we try to make content that is good for that specific platform. So we try to make videos that are good for... We try to make videos that are good for YouTube specifically, so you stay tuned. You find us, we're doing quick dip videos. Another one's coming soon.
Yes.
So, guys,
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Can't wait. So, guys, again, we thank you so much for the subscribers and the views and all that. My name Big Drip.
Tell your friends and tell your family. Subscribe. Never miss anything.
Press the bell
Yes.
so you don't miss us. My name's Big Drip. I'm signing out, people.
And my name